rocks soar above it. The smell of bay permeates it, and the animals call it home. For thousands of years, humans have lived on it, learned from it, and passed on. The Ohlone, the Spanish, the homesteaders all left their marks. Today, like those who have gone before us, we learn from the land. Nestled in the foothills of northern Santa Clara County at the Deer Hollow Farm Environmental Education Center, we study the past, appreciate the present, and plan for the future. Come take a look at this exciting center and the quality program it offers. In the quiet of the early morning, as we pass by the buildings constructed by the Grant brothers in the early 1860s, we are reminded that this area has been an active and productive one for many years. Today, this tradition continues at Deer Hollow Farm, a productive, working homestead run by the city of Mountain View. It is kept humming by a dedicated staff of 4 and countless community volunteers. Have you ever wondered what it takes to run a farm? Deer Hollow is not just a farm. Its main purpose is to serve as an environmental education center. Each year, approximately 5,000 students are enriched by its programs. In the fall, schools call to register for a variety of environmental classes. They fill up early, and many schools are put on a waiting list. In October, the classes begin. The staff and volunteers meet the students under the branches of the native California live oak trees. As the students leave the bus, they form a large circle around the head teacher. He welcomes everyone, gives a quick introduction concerning the class, introduces the teaching docents, and breaks the students up into small groups. Today we will observe a farm and garden class. It is structured for kindergarten through 1st grade and follows the state curriculum, as do all of our classes. Let's join a group now. Can anyone tell me what a sheep gives us? That's right, wool. What can you make from wool? Hats, gloves, sweaters? Very good. What do we get from chickens? Yes, eggs. How long do you think it takes an egg to hatch? 10 days? 20? 30? Actually, about 21 days. Have you ever seen a worm farm? Well, let's look at one. Do you think the worms help us make good plant food? They certainly do. Are the goats and sheep your favorite farm animals? 1st and 2nd graders get an in-depth look at these animals in our 2.5-hour class. Spinning and carding wool and learning how to milk a goat are some of the hands-on activities they enjoy. Another class much enjoyed by the students is the wilderness adventure. Students in the 3rd grade and up spend 4 hours out on the surrounding trails, visiting the different habitats. They learn that this preserve is a totally natural environment, just as it has been for hundreds of years. Students are encouraged to bring a lunch in containers that can be recycled and leave no trash. For example, sandwiches and fruit can be wrapped in a bandana, which can also be used as a tablecloth and napkin. This is called a no-garbage lunch. After lunch is often game time. The students pretend to be rangers and teach each other facts about the wilderness. This game is called Ranger Ranger and is a fun way to learn. After a morning spent on the trails, tired but excited hikers head for the school bus. They usually spot the Ohlone village while walking back and ask about it. The Ohlones lived on this very land just over 200 years ago. Their love of the land and way of life was unique. Today their spirit lives on through the students who come to learn of the Ohlone way. Close your eyes. Think about what life would have been like 200 years ago, how would you have survived? Upon waking in the morning, the Alonis would always offer a prayer to the sun, thanking it for another day.
Good morning, sun! Okay.
Every morning, the women of the village would come together to grind acorns with stone mortars and pestles. Acorns were a staple of the Ohlone diet. After leaching the acorns of their bitterness, they would be cooked in a basket containing hot rocks over a fire started without the use of matches. The sweat lodge was for men only. Here they would prepare for the hunt by sweating and praying to the animal spirits. In this way, they purified their bodies. Willow baskets woven by the women would be used to gather acorns, nuts, and plant roots. Usually 1 or 2 men in a village would be expert enough to make arrowheads. Other men fashioned jewelry with the aid of pump drills. The shade shelter was a cool place on a hot day to mend mitts, weave tule mats, or play gambling games. The boys learned the male task of hunting by playing the hoop and spear game. In our classes, however, all students participate equally in every activity. Now that you've seen what it is like to live as an Ohlone, would you have survived as well?
My name is Pat Allen. I'm a teacher of the 3rd, 4th grade accelerated literacy class in the Mountain View School District, Mariana Castro School. Our classes are here today to participate in the Ohlone experience that's part of the Deer Hollow Farm. Our children come as 3rd graders because their curriculum encompasses the Santa Clara Valley, and the Ohlone were part of the Santa Clara Valley. Our 4th graders study it as part of the beginning into the California experience with the missions and on into modern California today. We're delighted that this facility is handy and so close to our schools. Teachers try and purchase simulated lessons and activities, and this particular site is 10 minutes away from Cupertino, Mountain View, Palo Alto, Los Altos, and Sunnyvale. Children learn best by hands-on activities, and they pass through this Ohlone experience having at least 11 different hands-on experiences that then you take back into your classroom and enrich and embellish. It would be a great loss to not be able to come and use this as a hands-on learning experience. There's no way you can duplicate this experience in your classroom. In a word, this experience is outstanding. There's no other way to say it.
Another experience enjoyed by the students is the bird education class. By playing bird bingo, 2nd and 3rd graders are introduced to our feathered friends. Our bird class also features hands-on activities with feathers, bones, predators, and nests. Closely related to our bird class and sometimes offered in conjunction with it is our tree class. This class informs students of how reliant we all are on the existence of trees and why we need to preserve them for ourselves and future generations. They look at what trees give us, how they help maintain the wildlife habitat, which ones are native, such as the bay, the maple, the oak, and the madrone, and non-natives, such as the apple, pear, and persimmon, found in the orchard at Deer Hollow Farm. They study the life cycle of the tree from the tiniest seed to the mature tree to the end of its life when it enriches the soil. Some enjoy the regular classes so much they sign up for the summer program. Attending week-long day camps with overnights for older students turns everyone into a working farmhand and wilderness enthusiast. On the weekend, hundreds of people come to the farm from neighboring communities. Hikers, bikers, here they come. Walkers, runners, one by one. Mothers, babies, smiling wide. Fathers, daughters, side by side. Old and young, short and tall. To the farm they pay a call. Pet a goat, see a pig, My, that one's mighty big. From surrounding towns they walk to a place where geese still squawk. But eventually the shadows lengthen and another busy day on the farm comes to an end. We have learned much from the land. Through the environmental program at Deer Hollow, we pass the lessons of the land on to a new generation.
If you've seen a red-tailed fly, if you've heard a new lamb cry, if you know where banana slugs lie and why, if you've caught the scent of bay, if you've learned of the Ohlone way, if you know how goats eat hay, if you find all lives combined into a web we're all entwined, if we work together, we'll be fine. If you've seen composting done, if you've laughed at lizards on the run, if you've learned and it's been fun, you've been a student at Deer Hollow.
The land has many more lessons to teach. Please, we need your support so that the lessons can continue.